morning everyone, and welcome to a beautiful sunny morning, August 2023, and I'm on the former railway line of Sutton Colliery. I finished off in my last video just up there. That colliery closed in 1989 and this railway closed shortly afterwards. And if you watched the first part, you may remember I walked up here and finished off at the head of this railway line, coming away from Skegby Junction, which is about a mile long, this line is. So now I'm going to go all the way back down here to Skegby Junction and pick up also where I left off in the last video on the Pleasley to Tibshelf Midland Railway. Last time out we did Pleasley, Tibshelf and all the way up to here. We've got a station to look out for as soon as we get back on this other line. So I'm going to fly down to Skegby Junction and I'll pick you up just down there. So this is part 2 of a 3-part series as I follow the Midland Railway route from Pleasley through Tibshelf. We've just left the Sutton Colliery branch. That's Sutton Colliery up there. We finished there in part 1 and we're going to go down to Skegby Junction and then we'll pass the site of Whiteborough Station. We'll head off towards Tibshelf, passing the former Tibshelf and Newton Station, crossing where the Great Central Railway also used to run, and Tibshelf Collieries before following the line down towards the Arrowash Valley line and Tibshelf Sidings. Tibshelf Sidings will feature in part 3 and that one I'm really looking forward to sharing with you. Wooden sleepers in there. I might just be able to make it out in the centre of shot. Look how far away that is into the undergrowth. Well hidden. So this is Skegby Junction. So in the previous video we came from up there, Tibshelf and Pleasley. Heading towards Whiteborough Station now, which closed in 1930. And that's when the entire route closed to all passenger services, but of course it carried on for freight for quite some time afterwards. So getting back onto that main line again, look. And let's go and find Whiteborough Station, showing 2 miles up there on that sign to Tibshelf. We're just going beyond Tibshelf. So I think we've probably got about 2.5 miles to go. In this one, we're going to pass a few stations and colliery sites along the way. Let's see what we can find. There is Chesterfield Road, so Clay Cross is somewhere over there. Alfreton is a few miles in that direction back towards Tibshelf and Pleasley. So there's a coping stone there, look. That must have dropped down from somewhere up there, and something else there, look. Yeah, so red brick throughout by the looks of it on this one, but the station should have been just down here. And there's something a little else extraordinary here as well, although I think it's on the wrong side, isn't it? It's facing the wrong way and on the wrong side. That should be on the left, surely. Come on, railway people, should that be on that side? Still stunning though, isn't it, nevertheless? I believe this is the Nottinghamshire Derbyshire boundary or border just here as well, right where the station was. Closed in July 1930, so there must have been an access road down from Chesterfield Road coming down here at some point.
That's really nice, isn't it? Again, like I said in the previous video, if you watch that, there was a bit of the old station left at Tibshelf Manor, but it was a recreation of what was once there, a short section of platform. I just wish they'd do stuff like that more often. There's a post here as well, look. So yeah, we're going into Derbyshire, going this way, and we're leaving Nottinghamshire according to the post just there. And that's probably what this line is, leading towards the signal. So the signal is there as a little bit of a monument, isn't it? That's nice. So next up is where Tibshelf Colliery once was. That was pretty big, covered a large expansive area, primarily connected to the Great Central Railway, which will come across where that track bed was in about half a mile's time. And it crisscrossed this line. I believe it went underneath. It was in like a big cutting that has since been filled in. Cool, it's quite windy. I hope it's not picking it up on the microphone too badly. So Tibshelf Colliery, and also there's a massive expanse of sidings that covered and dominated the land, but there was a connection from this Midland Railway as well that also joined onto that colliery. And then after that, it's going to be the M1 motorway. I've got a really straight section coming up, not much to show you I don't believe until we do get to the former colliery lands. Okay, this is the M1 overbridge between Tibshelf and Tibshelf, and through there used to be Disused Colliery, opened in 1876 until only 1895 I believe. Not a very long life at all. Usual typical motorway structure. Obviously this was built before the railway closed, because the railway must have been around until around at least 1990. Got ballast on the ground still, look, scattered all the way along, and plenty of graffiti all over, but no funny characters or drawings that you normally see, just names and words that you can't really read. But it does get better, I promise, because Newtonwood Lane's behind me. That's the M1, goodbye to that. But there's a really tall red and blue brick bridge coming up. I believe it's a triple arch. Let's get ourselves over and have a little look. This is beautiful, this isn't it? It's got 5 arches, 1, 2, 3, 4. But the 5th one, if you really steer in, it's been bricked up and filled in. Must have been some sort of reinforcement going off there. I hope you can see that. Might be able to get it from there, maybe. Yeah, so that's good, isn't it? Very, very weathered. I love these tall, thin, high bridges, don't you? The back boxes, 2 of them, and there was 2 on the other side as well. Does it look like it's filled in on this side? Yeah, you can't see it. It is filled in, but the trees are obscuring it from your vision. So that's really nice. So let's hope we find some more stuff like this. So the Tibshelf Collieries, they were over there. I've hopefully found you some nice photos to have a look at, and we'll talk about it on maps to show you exactly where we are. Coming up to an old bridge down here. Looking forward to seeing this. It looks very, very authentic indeed.
Tibshelf and Newton Station, that opened on the 1st of May 1886 and lasted until the 28th of July 1930, when the line was closed to passengers. So obviously it continued with freight movements. And the road below, passing underneath, is Newton Road, and just beyond the station was the former Great Central Railway, where it crossed this very line. This particular old photo looking down at the station was taken around about 1920, 1930, and it is taken from the embankment of the Great Central Railway. This one looks like it's been taken around about the same time. Looking at the dress code, it's very, very early 1900s, possibly even late 1800s for that one. And this image looks to me to have been taken in the 1980s, looking at the car parked on the front and the 1980s style clothing of the lady walking directly under the bridge. But this one is a little bit more remarkable because I mentioned the Great Central Railway was next to the station and it crossed over this line, and there it is. Look, that is the embankment one of the earlier photos was taken from, probably around about that road bridge for Newton Road on the right hand side. But that freight working going over as the passenger service or the rail tour is going directly underneath, and a lovely picture of the signal box facing it in the opposite direction of Tibshelf and Newton Station.
So you should have just seen a building. That was the station building for Tibshelf and Newton Station. That closed in 1930. I believe it was a single platform again, and hopefully I've showed you some old authentic photos of that station and maybe the platforms. Hopefully got about another half a mile to go. We're passing Tibshelf now, and this is going to curve all the way around before it would have joined on the Erewash Valley line, the active current line between Chesterfield and Nottingham, and also Towton Yard as well. And you know, there used to be some sidings there, a yard of about 15-16 tracks wide. This is quite nice, isn't it? Wasn't sure I was going to see another bridge before we got to the end of this route. Nice red brick and some stonework at the very top and on top of the pillars supporting it. Triple arch, isn't it? Looking at maps, it looks like it's some kind of farm or private drive. It's crazy to think that bridges were put in those days, isn't it? For just private land and farm traffic. You wouldn't really expect that to be done today, would you? That's nice. So we're just about a quarter of a mile from the end of this route at Tibshelf Sidings and the Erewash Valley Midland Main Line. Not really a great deal to show you. I'll show you that bridge again. It's nice, that, isn't it? Yeah, not really a great deal to show you currently, so that might be it until we get to the junction. If I see anything, of course I will show you. Also, incidentally, worth pointing out, I am pretty close to that active railway line. I've not heard anything yet. It is a Saturday, so it's not going to be as busy as it would be in the week for light freight, but the passenger timetable should be pretty much the same. It's not far over there somewhere. We're very, very close. The track bed's about to take a bit of a dip down as well, so maybe we're about to lose it. And that dip, I'd say there used to be a bridge here, look, 'cause it's going up on the other side. So it's a bridge that's been demolished or collapsed for whatever reason. And I wonder if it was just farm access and traffic it used to go from side to side. Doesn't look like it's really used anymore. Maybe, just occasionally. I bet this is the remains of that bridge, you know, one of the coping stones from it. It's got 2008 carved in, so is that the date that the bridge was demolished and this was put here to commemorate that? Or, because this is a lot older than 2008, isn't it? You can see that. Okay, this is pretty much end of the line, but it also appears to be the beginning of the line. Look at this. We've got tracks down in this road. I wonder how far they're going, or are they just severed? I think they're going to be severed and there's nothing there, but it's quite regular occurrence that you do find this situation where roads that never get resurfaced for years upon years, the rails never get taken up or covered over, do they? First bit of track on this entire route, and it's really nice to see it, isn't it? Still got the white lines down as well, look. That's good though, I like that. I'm pleased about that. So we are getting closer to the active line. Now, the line does carry on here, but there are no gates here, look, so I'm just going to push on and see what happens, and see where it takes us. Well, I'm going to assume this is potentially some kind of network rail access for the line, but as you see, the gates are wide open. The track bed is just there and here, and just here as we approached the sidings of Tibshelf, there were points coming off, making it wider, and then it turned into the yard, which was 16 or 17 tracks wide. Plenty of ballast down as well, look. See, there are tyre marks in here. So, I mean, if I do see anybody, I can just explain that I've just continued on from the footpath and there was no signs or gates saying don't come down. I'm just assuming you're not supposed to come down here just because the surface has changed and I know what's down here. Maybe a lot of people don't know what's down here and they just wander down here anyway. Probably just me being paranoid. Right, there's a gap in the bushes and trees there, and just there is the active Midland main line, probably about 100 or so metres away. Still nothing to see here. You can see where this is getting wider though, where it was turning into Tibshelf Sidings. Makes you wonder what might be lying in there, doesn't it? Oh, hang on, if I pick you up I think you're going to see a train. So that's probably a Liverpool Street to Nottingham and Norwich service. Yeah, there was all sidings in there, and it got busier once. I believe Blackwell West Houses closed. I think that closed in 1987, and I think this lasted another 2 or 3 years. Okay, this is coming up to a gate, look. So at least with this gate here I feel better about walking through that other fencing where there was no gate, but you know what I mean. Track plan here, look, Trial Junction, Chesterfield, down Arrowash, up Arrowash and up and down Blackwell. There would have been 4 tracks here I believe at one time, a long time ago. So yeah, Tibshelf Sidings was all the way in there. But yeah, I'm gonna go and see if I can have a rummage in there, because you just don't know, do you? And as long as I stay on this side of the fence, which I will be doing, then it's not a problem, is it? I'm not anywhere where I shouldn't be. So, thank you very much for watching this video, because I'm going to do that for the next one, hopefully. I'll see you in that one. It'll follow this one very soon. Like, subscribe, please comment below. Any other places like Tibshelf Sidings where you can get to and have a good rummage around, where there might be some relics lying around. Take care, bye bye.